Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So as you know, we were just in Ottawa for the opening of the O-Train Confederation line. It was really exciting, and the past few days we've been posting a bunch of videos on it. But of course we had to make this video, and forewarning, it's probably going to be a long one, about the channel, because we have hit 2,000 subscribers, which is kind of incredible to say. Why is it incredible? Well, because a year ago we had only 200 subscribers, so a 10x increase in a year. And we only hit the 1,000 subscriber milestone 4 months ago. So in the past 4 months we've doubled our subscriber count, which is exciting. But it's really not just up to us. A lot of support has come from all of our subscribers, our patrons on Patreon, our followers on Twitter and Instagram, and just the kind of community around us. So it's definitely everyone's success here that transit and people talking about transit is able to be successful. So there's kind of a lot of stuff I want to talk to you about in this video. So we should definitely get started on that. I think the first topic to discuss is kind of where we've been the past bit since the last subscriber update. So since the last update of 1,000 subscribers, we've had videos on Ion, we've had videos on Seattle, and we've had videos on Ottawa in terms of our kind of reaching out to different cities where we aren't usually. Of course, Toronto content is kind of omnipresent on this channel. Now, we really enjoyed traveling to these cities, and we definitely still have content coming on Seattle and Ottawa. We have a bunch of videos still kind of queued up in the process of being made on those cities, so watch out for those videos. And Waterloo, we released a bunch of videos obviously back about 4 months, but we'll probably be going back, I'm sure, at some point, so we'll record more videos on that as well. And it'll be interesting to see how the Ion is doing now that it's fully in service. In terms of like the past 4 months, we've been trying to release videos every few days, and you guys seem to enjoy the frequency of videos. We started remaking our older videos on Future of, so there is now a quite small library of videos, only 4. We previously had about 30. We've taken them down because we want to use OpenStreetMap instead of Google Maps for our videos. And so you'll see over time that the library will grow, but that's definitely a focus point for us in the next kind of couple months, is to rebuild a lot of that library as well as explore new cities. So of course we'd love to hear suggestions on that. Now, before we go on to the next topic, I would like to say, if you guys aren't already, you should follow us on Instagram and Twitter. Consider joining our Facebook group. The links to all of these things will be in the description. And if you're really passionate about the channel as well as public transit or advocacy around public transit, consider supporting us on Patreon. It helps a ton, and we try to stay extra looped in with people who are supporting us on Patreon because, as we should, this is like a tight-knit community, and it's great. Any kind of support really does help us though. So from anything from a follow to a like to a share, it all helps get the word out, and we are generally advocating, even on projects where we have things that we think could be improved. We believe more public transit generally is fantastic, so that's generally the direction we take things. So it's something that's come to my mind a lot, that, well, we've done tons of different videos and maybe some opinion videos and such. We've never really talked about what are our values, what are we basing a lot of our thinking on. And so that's something I would like to talk about. Before we get into these values, I would like to update you guys on a few of the stats. So beyond just reaching the wonderful 2,000 subscriber milestone, in fact we're already over 2,100, which is kind of hard to believe given that it's only been a few days since we reached 2,000. We've also had a few other awesome milestones. So overall for video views, we're almost at 500,000, which is super exciting. Though given the rate of kind of growth being quite exponential, I'm sure we'll hit 1 million video views in the not too distant future. We've also had our first video go over 50,000 views. That's the video on the Montreal Metro. As well, there's just been kind of general success across kind of a wide range of our videos, and we're definitely thankful for you guys for that. So getting back to kind of values, I think that public transit is a great thing in itself, and engineering, etc. are huge things that we think are interesting. We think that the design and the planning aspects are all super interesting things, but you have to remember, public transit is also a means for so many other things. in terms of things like social welfare and reducing the impacts of climate change and creating community spaces, as well as kind of a number of other things. Public transit is so critical, and you can see that in North America in general, we're lacking a lot of those kind of byproducts of public transportation. Mobility is another one, affordability. And so by building public transit, not only do we have this awesome thing that we can go take videos of and we can talk about the interesting infrastructure, but you also have all these tangential benefits, and those things are really critical to us. Another big one would be accessibility, and that's the reason that we've started captioning our videos. It takes a lot of extra effort, so if anyone's interested in doing some community captioning, we would be super interested. Feel free to send us an email or anything. Of course, if you ever want to contact us, you can via Instagram DM, Twitter DM, or our email, which is in our channel description, because we do love communicating with our followers and subscribers, so consider that as well. But back on the topic of accessibility, public transit is very accessible when compared to private cars. I think that Toronto is doing okay on accessibility, certainly better than it has in the past. However, there's still a lot of work to be done. You look at a system like the O train, and I would say that that's definitely not perfect, but it's a very nice standard for North America in terms of accessibility. One of the key things that we saw in Ottawa that we think is fantastic is 2 elevators per platform. This is something you'll notice if you go to a lot of transit systems, is a lot of the time there's announcements that, oh, the elevator at X station is not working, or elevator down at X location. And depending on what system you're in, that could be a crazy, crazy thing. For people who can, easily navigate stairs, it seems like, oh, whatever, elevator's down. But imagine having to travel, way down the line to an island station so you can cross over to go to the other platform. It's crazy. Not having an elevator is as good as wiping the station off the map for a lot of people. So accessibility is critical, and our system is far from perfectly accessible. So we have a lot of work to do, and that's why we want to advocate for it. Kind of ties in to the next topic, and kind of the final topic for this video. Where are we going? As time progresses, our channel gets more and more coverage. We were lucky enough to be able to visit Thales, which is a signaling company. Essentially, they build the signals and the technology that allows trains to operate safely in tunnels, as well as along the lines, as well as automate trains. So there'll be a video or maybe 2 videos coming on that. But what we do want to do is we want to go and engage with kind of projects, etc., more in the future. Since we have grown larger, and as we continue to grow larger, we have a bit more clout, if you want to call it that. It's such that we can, potentially go see a construction site or go see a, project being developed. And so as we have slowly started doing more and more news style stuff, we also want to get kind of on the ground to do more content. Of course, I don't want to overpromise, because we are only 2 people with kind of limited time, given that we're full-time students, and we make it work, but that's something we're definitely interested in the future. Of course, that also involves things like station upgrades. I think DuPont is looking like it will be done early next year, and that's a station we'll visit to go check out the new accessibility there. But that's some stuff we're interested in terms of news style. Of course, in the future, next few years, and even going further along, there'll be things like Eglinton Crosstown, REM, Edmonton's Valley Line, the Broadway extension in Vancouver, potentially some stuff in the United States, and maybe even abroad in other places outside of North America. Mexico is another place I'd love to visit. The metro there is fantastic, and there's really not a ton of YouTube content on it. Asia as well. There's a lot of things that we'd like to go visit and do. In fact, the thing about transit is that there's plenty of videos to be made. There's really not enough time in a lifetime to make all the videos you would want, even in Toronto. So I'm not worried about a lack of topics to discuss. Of course, we'll continue to discuss different topics with our opinion videos. We find that they're generally pretty popular, and we definitely do focus on the fact that they're just opinions, but they're great conversation starters. Transit is so complex that it's easy to have a lot of disagreements and different opinions, but it's really critical to just try to have open dialogues about those things, and we really enjoy making those type of videos, so we'll continue. Of course, doing system videos like we just did in Ottawa is not always possible, but as mentioned just a few seconds ago, there are a bunch of new systems and lines opening up across the country, so of course over the next few years we will be visiting those. As I also mentioned, future up videos will be something that we continue doing more and more of, and we'll also be doing more airport future. So if you guys are interested in particular airports or know of airports that are doing a lot, some that we are thinking of doing are, for example, LaGuardia in the US, perhaps JFK could be done. There's a lot of interesting airports that we could discuss, so we'd be interested in your guys' thoughts. Of course, we also have some other kind of special videos coming, and I don't want to say too much, but if you think about like visiting all the TTC stations or visiting all the Montreal Metro stations, we have more of that sort of thing coming along. Anyways, guys, I think that's it for the video tonight. Well, I guess when we release this morning, today, whenever you're watching this video, I guess all we can really say is thank you so much. I know it's cliche, I know this is the exact same thing I said in our 1,000 subscriber video, but it's awesome having a community that's so interested in public transit. It's awesome seeing the support for what we're doing, and we definitely plan on continuing. So as always, stay locked on the channel. If you're not already, consider subscribing, and thanks for watching to the very end of the video. You, the person watching this video, I really appreciate it. Anyways, good night.